Honorable Men Discord, Operation No Way. What is it about? What does it entail? Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'm going to go straight into this video, which I came across. This has to do with Mississippi and all that Mississippi has been going through within the last few weeks. The hanging of the young lady and Nolan Wells case, which has been cold ever since the 4th of July. So I'm going to go into the things I have queued up. I have this gentleman speaking, and then I have some reaction to this whole Operation No Way. Then I'll talk further about it. So let's get straight to it.
Don't know, here in the state of Mississippi, we have launched a movement called Operation No Way. And you may be asking me, what is Operation No Way? Well, I tell you, what is Operation No Way? We, the black community, have decided to take matters into our own hands. As black, brown, and African Americans here, we can no longer trust the government to handle things for us. We can no longer trust the law enforcement to do what is right. So we will take matters into our own hands to protect ourselves and our children in a legal way that's peaceable unto all. And that way is, right now as we're speaking, 75% of the black, brown, and African Americans here in the state of Mississippi that has a 21-year-old son or daughter or older that is eligible to receive a permit and license to carry a concealed gun or weapon here in the state. We're in the process of doing that right now. Right now, we're in the process of picking up our children from college campuses and starting paperwork as you and I are watching and talking in this video right now. As you and I are talking right now, this is what is taking place. Right now, Bass Pro is selling out of guns. Right now, Walmart is selling out of guns. Right now, the gun ranges are filled with people right now that's practicing because we can no longer afford for our sons and daughters to go out unprotected. Not only do we believe in God and have faith in God and we walking right, we sure enough gonna walk armed this time. Not only will we have the shield of faith, the sword of the spirit, we're gonna have a gun on our hip just to make sure as we're walking with our feet shod the preparation of the gospel of peace among our citizens. We're gonna make sure we carry us a peace so we can protect our peace as it pertains to our family. So that's what's taking place here in Mississippi. And we're calling every black, brown, African-American family to go. If your child is at the age of 21, your son and your daughter, they meet the qualifications, by all means. Because I'm telling you right now, the pawn shops are selling out of guns. It's just that serious. So in about 2 months from now, all of you that watch this video, when you come to Mississippi, don't be surprised if you see a couple with the husband with the gun on the hip, the wife with the gun on the hip, the 21 and 22-year-old with guns on the hip. It's just that serious now. We're not playing no games. And we're calling it, as it has been declared, Operation No Way. Because there would be no way for what happened to Nolan Xavier Wells to happen again. We're not allowing it. So God bless you and keep you. Have a great day. In case you don't.
All right. So my immediate reaction is, with respect to Operation No Way, as someone that is not from Mississippi, as someone who does not have his feet on the ground, I'm not here to criticize it because I believe those who are on the sidelines should step aside for those who take action. And for those individuals out there in Mississippi that are taking the initiative to arm themselves, I respect it. All right? I respect action more than just talking. Now, although I'm saying that, on the flip side of that, I just need those people that are in Mississippi, those people watching this episode, to understand that the issue is the issue at hand is not so much the mysterious passing of Nolan Wells. I know there's some people that will look at it as it's not mysterious. He drowned. I'm saying mysterious, right? The issue is not so much the mysterious passing of Nolan Wells. The issue is we as a community band together to do things like this, and we make public announcements. We just have to understand that what we're up against is silence. We're up against people holding particular seats. We're up against legislation. We're in a lose-lose. And I know it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, because on one hand I'm saying I understand that those taking action have the right to take action, and someone who, like myself, is just an outsider on the sideline observing, I should just step to the side and allow those that are willing to take action to take action. But I just need those people that are taking action to understand that there's a bigger picture here. The system was never designed to protect us. And I may be saying things that we already know, but it still needs to be reiterated. The system was never designed to protect us. You have a grieving mother, a grieving father, who are being threatened, who are being harassed. They were trying to get the mother fired from her job. I believe she's a nurse. And why? Because she wants to find out how, in fact, her son passed away. She's not settling for the he drowned theory. We're up against a system that has been rigged. Now, there's going to be people that watch this episode and they hear me say that, and they look at it like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. The system is rigged. And it's clear that what's going on in Mississippi in particular, I'm speaking solely on Mississippi for this one, because that's where this Operation No Way is being held. Although, as you'll see through the other things I have queued up, it seems as though some other states have decided to join in on this declaration. But let's just stick with Mississippi. It seems Mississippi is showing you, with their silence, with the exception of the Officer Tatum interviews with the boys, which I'm shocked those boys sat down for the interview. I'm shocked that the first interview took place, but I'm even more shocked that the rest of them showed up for the second one. I believe they should have showed up to the first one. That's a whole nother story. You know, I brought that up in my episode, my series covering Nolan Wells. They should have been sitting down a long time ago, but you know, they're comfortable with Officer Tatum for obvious reasons. But again, those of you that are taking part in Operation No Way, just understand that there's a bigger picture. That's just one thing to protect yourself, arming yourself. It's better than nothing. Taking action is better than just standing on the sidelines. Again, I'm going to continue to say that. But just understand what you're up against is bigger. You're up against people holding seats that could tamper with the progress of an investigation. They can intentionally delay it. They could do favors for other friends in other positions. That's what you guys are up against, those of you that are out there in Mississippi. It's clear. We as outsiders notice it, all right? And just be careful. Because again, for some reason, there's a group of people who are attacking Nolan's mother as though she did something wrong to them. She did absolutely nothing wrong aside from grieving the loss of her son. But somehow they're trying to get her to lose her job. For what? So I'm saying all this to say this. In my humble opinion, arming yourself is a good thing. But just know the opposition, things like that, they've been doing. They've been arming themselves. They do things in silence. They arm themselves They study, they put themselves in positions of authority to stay on top, to influence legislation. The key is not just to arm yourself, all right? Because if you arm yourself and you're ignorant whilst being armed, and then you have to go through the system, you're gonna lose. It needs to be more than just arming yourself. My thought is, as a parent myself, we need to really advocate for our children to study law and to put themselves in fields that could benefit them as adults, as young adults into their adulthood. Because that's what a lot of these that's a lot of what the opposition does. Their children are in positions, if they're not directly in positions to be protected by the law, their parents are in positions to educate their children on how to be protected by the law. We need to focus on that as well as arming ourselves. That's just a thought. Let me get into these other things that I have queued up, and I'll continue to speak throughout.
What's going on, fam? To all the so-called black men and women in the United States, listen up. There's a movement going on right now, proposed by a Dr. Lyles in Mississippi. Now, the proposal is titled, the movement, I should say, is titled Operation No Way. Operation No Way is a movement that will have families, so-called black families, getting their 21-year-old sons and daughters licensed to carry conceal, licensed to carry, okay? Now, obviously this comes on the tragic unaliving of the young brother Nolan Xavier Wells. They're taking it upon themselves to defend themselves, which they should, and this is something I've been encouraging for the past 30 years myself. It has to be done, it needs to be done, and if you understand the history of this country, truly understand the history, we would never be without protection. Never. So, what we need to do with this is follow suit. Every state, organize yourselves, black men and women. Organize yourselves. Become legally armed as much as possible. And I put it in quotes because what is legally armed? If you are being attacked by the state, by the government, then you have the right to defend yourself, and there is no such thing as being legally armed. But for those who can, do what you got to do in a lawful manner, but understand that they are going to quickly jump on this. This might last a day or so. That's how fast they're going to be on it. Because anytime you say that the gun stores and Walmarts are, selling out of gear to purchase for you to protect yourselves, they're not going to let this go. They're having an emergency meeting right now as we speak, trust me. I know that for a fact. So do what you got to do, but make sure you do it the right way. Do the best you can to stay out of harm's way. I wish we really, truly understood the significance of what's going on and the fact that we are being hunted and we do not have to ask permission to protect ourselves. What needs to happen is we need to gather our lawyers. They need to get up off the couch, come together, figure it out, find each other, go international, talk to other countries that know our plight, speak with the UN, other organizations that have something to do with what we're dealing with here in the United States as so-called black people. We're being hunted, and we have been for centuries. Comes a time where you have to buck back, and we have been. We've never given up as a people. Never. But they, for some reason, can't live peacefully with us. It's not that we can't live peacefully with them. We've proven that we can. But they always come up with a reason, somehow, some way to make us the bad guy so that they can go on the offensive and do bodily harm to us and then make it look like it's our fault. Why don't they just comply? Comply to what? Never. That'll never happen. Comply for what? Once again, that'll never happen. You don't deserve it. Our ancestors don't deserve it. We're not going to do it. You create problems, and we're going to fix it. We're going to take it upon ourselves to fix it. All right? This is not us calling for violence. This is us stopping the violence and the aggression that is coming towards us and has been for centuries. All right? You guys need to figure it out. Give you a message. Talk to Fox News. What we need to do is get some of our lawyers together so we can establish a class action lawsuit against Fox News for inciting violence against us. Class action lawsuit against Fox News for inciting violence against people of color here in the United States, so-called black people. First and foremost, let's get it going, let's get it popping. Once we win the lawsuit, we will take that money, not take it as individuals. We'll put all of that money into a pot to establish business for us as a people, and we'll move forward. And we'll do that to everybody that has caused harm to us. The medical industry, the food industry. Food industry is intentionally poisoning us. The medical industry intentionally poisoning us. We know this. We have to take proper action, and we will. Let's get it together and take care of ourselves, first and foremost. All right? So, if you have not gotten the memo is to protect yourselves by all means necessary, as lawful and legal as possible, to the degree that you can, but make it happen. Everybody, the people that are over the government and that are in charge, if you can say that are controlling things, do not have the right, especially not over so-called people of color, the black folks. They don't have rights over us. The only rights they have is what we give them. Our history does not allow them to have rights over us. If you understand the history, you know that. There is no submitting. There is no complying. Not to a terrorist, not to someone who has been committing harm to us for centuries. Create situations to commit harm to us for centuries. We're not giving in. We're not submitting. So get your gear, do what you got to do. To all your brothers and sisters that are military trained, make it happen in your communities. All right? Right now, I have something going on which is called Quest Rescue, an anti-human trafficking organization for us, by us. Something that has been needed for decades because we come up missing and nobody's looking for us. So we are skilled veterans, qualified to come look for them, hunt the traffickers, and send them to the next life. That's what we're doing. Everybody can get some. Everybody will get some. It takes you supporting it. Have to have the resources to get down. Nobody is submitting to evil anymore. Nobody's going to do it. These people are harming our children, harming women, unaliving people day in and day out. People coming up missing. They're on a list that nobody wants to talk about or nobody wants to do anything about. I I'm ready to go hunt everybody on the list and deal with them. I need the resources. There will be no submitting. Don't come knocking on nobody's door. Don't come looking for anybody. If you support evil, you're going to get the same thing evil does. You're going to get the same thing. Believe that. Do what you got to do. Make it happen right now. Every state, brothers, get it together. Mississippi is leading the way. They're getting all their children geared up, their wives geared up. They're hitting the target. Mind you, they're going to make it our issue. They're working right now. They behind closed doors talking about how they're going to make us the bad guy, the extremists, the racists, the terrorists. They're going to make it our problem. They're going to make us the issue. We can't let them do that. Work hard, figure it out. Everybody that got some intelligence amongst us, start coming together, put your skills together, and let's get it together. All right? Peace. Protect yourselves. See you on the right side of justice. And it really is that simple. I'm out.
I appreciated everything that brother had to say. As he mentioned, he's a veteran, and I respect his what he has going on. It says Quest Rescue. I respect that. It's the truth. When black people go missing, becomes an immediate cold case. There's no sense of urgency to locate missing black people. Doesn't get much news coverage, and if it does, it's fast. It's like short coverage, nothing in depth. I respect what he's doing. He's a perfect example of, a man of action. So I salute that. I applaud that. But I just wish nothing but safety for him, because again, as he mentioned, a lot of the opposition, what's going on with the opposition is these things are happening behind closed doors, whereas we're speaking on these things, we're taking it to social media, and they're paying attention to your videos. So someone like him, they're paying attention to him. You think they don't know? You think someone doesn't know where he lives? And I'm not wishing anything on him, but we have to understand what we're up against. We're up against positions that are held, high positions that are held, that when something happens to one of us, it's the buddy-buddy system. They know each other, they make a few phone calls, and they make it go away. In addition to people holding high positions, media. I've seen people react to TMZ and the way TMZ's been covering the Nolan Well case. And there's people that feel as though TMZ is compromised and they're biased. So when you have the media, as he also mentioned, that will spin it and make it seem as though we are the aggressors or we are the problem, it's like a lose-lose. But you got to do something, right? You definitely need Quest Rescue for when black folks go missing. But when you arm yourself, you have to be wise. It's a responsibility that you have to not take lightly. You can't just arm yourself and then retaliate. It doesn't work that way. The system it would bury you for doing anything that's considered careless and reckless. So you got to be careful. I almost want to end the episode just off of what he said. He said a lot, which I wasn't expecting that, but it was good information, great information, and almost want to end it here, but I have 3 other things queued up, so let's try to get into it. Hopefully they're not too long.
Y'all hear about Operation No Way? I saw this post by this brother who said that in Mississippi they are arming themselves and they're coming together and saying no way. And they're no longer trusting the system. Well, what I personally would say is everything we say on this app with our words is being heard by others. So we don't need to be broadcasting what we're doing, but I think it's good that people are coming together. I don't like guns. I'm just going to be honest. I don't like guns. I understand the need to have a gun and do it legally. but I don't like guns. I think that there are many ways to accomplish what needs to be accomplished. And I think strategy is very important. And I am so glad that Mississippi and the people in Mississippi are coming together.
Just piggybacking off of what she said, there's other ways of accomplishing this. Goes back to the much needed episode that my cousin had called me about, and another gentleman who is a subscriber to this channel. He first, and I mentioned this before, he first reached out to me about speaking on education. The first key to conquering opposition is knowledge. I know it's cliche to say this, knowledge is power. Way before you arm yourself, you still have to be trained, right? And what does training give you? Training gives you knowledge. But we're not here to talk about firearms. We're here to talk about educating yourself. What needs to be done within the black community is there needs to be groups formed to educate people on law, educate people on history. There's a group of African Americans that are not knowledgeable. They don't have the knowledge of self. They don't have the knowledge of the American history. You need to know American history, like really know it. Not just Martin Luther King and not Malcolm X. Those are the easy ones that most of us know. We need to really know our history. But we also need to know law, specifically in each state. So you see how they put this together? There needs to be groups for each state of black and brown people that educate the community on that particular state's laws, what to look out for, different cases, how the cases went wrong. You know, host these things in community centers. Show slides of cases pertaining to that state and how it affect black and brown people and what to avoid, how to be wiser in your decision making. Start with the education, and you could expound on that. And I'm not going to sit here and expound on it. I really would have to sit down and thoroughly think of different things. But like she mentioned, that's not something I would even have on this channel per se. If it's really something that's if it's really something to be implemented, the conversation isn't on here. It isn't on here. A loose conversation is on here, but if it's something that really needs to get done, then that should be done through email, and then a sit down of minds and put it together. And it's nothing unhealthy to put together. It's nothing divisive. It's nothing destructive. It's nothing illegal. It's just helping your neighbor, helping your community rise intellectually. And when you rise intellectually, you make better decisions. And it's for self-preservation. It's at the core of this all. It's for self-preservation. We're not out here looking to disrupt anyone. We're not looking to take lives. We just want to protect ourselves and be educated on the laws and how they affect us in each particular state. And let me be clear: those people that are arming themselves in this Operation No Way, they're not looking to take lives. But now that they made this public, let's see how people respond to it in the comment section. Let's see how the news or the smaller outlets spin this and make it look like the community's trying to turn to violence. Pay attention to it.
And trying to get to the bottom of what really happened. But, you know, what happened with Nolan Wells, will we know the truth? Will his mother, I mean, I don't understand why they haven't released the autopsy results.
I understand, because they can. They can. They hold the keys. They have the power because they can. And because one thing history has shown is certain groups of people, and I keep saying certain groups. I'm not saying all people, because I understand there's people of other races that are allies. So I don't want to come across as everyone is hateful towards black and brown people, but there's certain groups of people that, again, they abuse their authority, they abuse their power out of hate, and out of, it's a lineage of hatred passed down from generation to generation. This is why I'll say it over and over again. Don't let anyone gaslight you into thinking that racism doesn't exist. You would be a fool to believe that it doesn't exist. You would be a fool to believe that racism doesn't exist. It's just living and thriving in silence. It's a coalition of silence and authority. But it's there.
Yeah. It's a terrible situation. I mean, this is dragging on and on. But like I said, every time I start getting antsy and saying this is dragging on too long, I just keep telling myself it took 74 days for them to arrest those people that killed Ahmaud Arbery. 74 days. And Ahmaud Arbery was just a jogger, regular old person running through his neighborhood, black man, right? And think about, so many cases that we've seen where no justice was served, or it took a long time for justice to actually be served, if you can call it justice. I don't think those are cases of justice. But the fact that Operation No Way is a thing, I think it'll be very interesting to see what happens in Mississippi. And I'm sure that mother is still upset. My daughter, she spends time in California, and she came back to Florida yesterday, and I was so happy to see her. And it's like now I'm back to, spending time with my child, and I can't imagine that mother's pain. I can't imagine. Because eventually Nolan's name will be out of the spotlight, and she'll still have that hole in her heart. And I think about Trayvon Martin's mother, and this dude I know, his son died in a heroic way a couple of years ago in Florida on a vacation, saving someone, and he drowned. And it was terrible. It wasn't race related at all, but just, he was a young black man, a young black boy who had his whole life ahead of him. And, that father, I'm sure, like I said, he's somebody who I know. They set up a foundation in his honor. But I just think about people who lost their children and just feel so painful, Anyway, I wonder what y'all think about that Operation No Way. I definitely think they need to be moving a lot more quiet than social media. But on the other hand, you can put the call out on social media, and then you can go back and strategize after. And as always, if you're a beautiful person, have a beautiful day. And if you're not, if you're an oxygen stealer, well, you know how I feel about that. Did y'all hear about Operation No Way?
Unfortunately for us, no matter what we do, we're going to be looked at as villains, like the gentleman in the previous video mentioned. Even if we did it, a different way, right? We're going to be looked at as, what are they trying to form? There's always going to be a mole. Those things are real. And the mole is going to be black and brown. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone from another race. The mole is going to be someone black and brown. And they're going to be running back, spewing the things that were discussed. And again, these things aren't negative. They're not illegal. It's just people trying to figure out ways to leverage themselves, to protect themselves in a state being Mississippi and other states where they feel they're not heard, that their concerns are never resolved. No one's paying attention to them. That's what this is about. There's going to be people that just hone in on the mention of firearms. But that's not what this is about. This is not about tax-paying citizens getting firearms to hurt other tax-paying citizens. This is about a community of people that's fed up with being overlooked and disrespected, violated, and not treated like human beings. That's what this is about. Never lose sight of that. I'm going to end with this one, okay? I'm going to end with this one because I don't want this to be too lengthy of a video. And not to say that it's not valuable information, but I don't want to make it too lengthy.
You were very activated by me talking about modern day lynchings. Some of you said that, oh, if this was happening, if black men and women were being found hanging from trees, it would be on the nightly news. Black men and women are being found hanging from trees, and it's not. Why is that? Because they're modern day lynchings. And the news isn't talking about it. Gerard Jackson, last week, maybe 2 weeks ago now, the week of 4th of July, found hanging from a tree. Then they cremated his body. Why? They didn't want to give the family the opportunity to do any kind of an autopsy. I'm not saying the police were involved in the hanging. I'm saying no community wants that kind of coverage. And to make it easier, they got rid of the body. Rest in peace, Gerard Jackson. Some of you were very
Just a quick thought that came to me since she mentioned hangings. Let me fix her face.
activated.
All right. The young lady that I covered who was found hanging from a tree, they said she was so high that they needed to get a ladder truck to bring her down. This is just a thought. I want to know just how high up was she. I want the specific amount of feet that she was at the time when they found her. Why? Because if they had to get a ladder truck to bring her down, was it a ladder truck that put her up? Was it a ladder truck that put her up? Obviously, it's not, it's not magic. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to our passing. May she rest in peace. I literally want to know just exactly how high up was she? Because then that would let us know, can a common person with a pickup truck, with what kind of vehicle would it take to get her that high up? Or was it more nefarious? And you know what I'm alluding to, but I'm just not going to say it. Listen, folks, what do you think about all of this? Operation No Way. You see beside her, it says Illinois. As I was looking up different things about this, particularly here on TikTok, as you can see above, all this information is derived from TikTok. I saw other states. It wasn't just Illinois. There were other states that had this same flyer. I don't know how official this flyer is. I don't know if this was just something concocted by social media. But what's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on it? I know where I stand with my thoughts. Education first. Education should always be first. Should start community by community, state by state. We should be educating one another on state laws. And that in turn will also inspire the young minds to perhaps, when they choose to go to school, if they choose higher education, to go into those avenues. Law. Just a thought, just an option, just a positive option. Because I already know once you start talking firearms, it's going to be looked at as like, another radical group is forming. They're going to look at it as like the Black Panther Party. You saw what, you've seen the history on the Black Panther Party and how they were perceived. Now, granted, they were very outspoken in what they were looking to accomplish. But again, once you start mentioning firearms on social media, I don't see it going in a direction or being perceived as a positive direction to take. But again, I'm on the sideline. I'm just reporting here on my channel. I applaud those that take action always over those that just sit on the sideline and complain or heavily critique. I humbly just want to put out there that also the other thing that's valuable, if not the most valuable, is educating one another. That's the most important. But what's your thoughts on all of this? As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.